Have you ever walked into your home office, pressed the power button on your computer, and nothing happened? No lights, no fans, no startup sound, just silence. Now imagine discovering that a tiny burst of electricity, something that lasted less than a second, just destroyed thousands of dollars worth of technology in your home. Your computer, your monitor, maybe your router, your hard drives, all gone. And here's the part most Americans don't realize. Power surges are far more common than people think. In fact, experts estimate that the average US home experiences dozens of small power surges every single day. Most of them are so small you never notice, but it only takes one big one to wipe out everything. And with Americans relying more than ever on home offices, gaming setups, and smart devices, the risk has never been higher. So today, we're going to break down exactly how power surges work, why they're becoming a bigger problem in the United States, and most importantly, how you can protect your computer and your entire setup before it's too late. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to protect thousands of dollars in equipment with solutions that cost less than a pizza. And trust me, there's one mistake millions of Americans make every day that leaves their computers completely exposed. Let's start with why this matters right now. Over the past few years, the average American home has transformed into something that looks more like a mini data center. Think about it. 10 years ago, most people had one desktop computer and maybe a laptop. Today, many households have multiple laptops, gaming PCs, routers, smart TVs, external drives, home servers, smart speakers, and dozens of connected devices. Remote work exploded across the United States. Students now rely on computers for online classes. Gamers are running machines that cost $2,000, $3,000, even $5,000. And small businesses are operating directly out of home offices. But here's the problem. Our power infrastructure, the wiring inside homes, and even the electrical grid itself weren't designed for this kind of constant digital dependence. Storms across the US are becoming stronger and more frequent. Power grids are aging in many states, and even something as simple as a refrigerator turning on can cause small voltage spikes inside your home. That means the threat to your computer isn't just lightning strikes, it's happening quietly, every day. But to understand how to protect your system, we first need to understand what a power surge actually is. A power surge is basically a sudden spike in electrical voltage. In the United States, your home outlets typically deliver around 120 volts of electricity. Your computer power supply is carefully designed to handle that specific amount of power. But when a surge happens, the voltage can suddenly jump far above that level. Sometimes it rises to hundreds, even thousands of volts in a fraction of a second. And when that happens, that extra electricity has to go somewhere. If your devices aren't protected, the surge travels directly into your electronics. Inside your computer are delicate components: the motherboard, CPU, graphics card, memory chips, and storage drives. These parts are designed for precise electrical signals. When a surge hits, it can overload circuits instantly. Sometimes the damage is dramatic. The computer dies immediately. Other times the damage is silent. A surge might weaken internal components slowly, shortening the life of your hardware until it suddenly fails months later. And here's something that surprises a lot of people. Lightning strikes are actually responsible for a small percentage of surges. The majority of power surges come from inside your own home. Large appliances like air conditioners, refrigerators, washing machines, and even microwaves constantly cycle on and off. Every time they start up, they draw a large amount of electricity. That sudden demand can create small voltage spikes in your home's wiring. These microsurges may seem harmless, but over time they slowly degrade electronics. It's like tiny electrical stress happening again and again. But here's where things get serious. When a major surge happens, like during a thunderstorm or a grid fluctuation, the damage can be catastrophic. And if your computer is directly connected to an outlet without protection, there's nothing stopping that surge. This is the part nobody talks about. Many Americans believe they're protected because they're using a power strip. You know the one. A plastic bar with 6 outlets and a switch. But here's the reality. Most power strips sold in the US are not surge protectors. They're simply extension cords with multiple outlets. They provide zero protection from voltage spikes, which means millions of people plug their expensive computers into devices that offer absolutely no defense. And that misunderstanding leads to massive damage every year. Insurance companies report billions of dollars in electronics damage from power surges across the United States, everything from destroyed gaming rigs to wiped out office equipment. But there's good news. Protecting your computer is actually very simple, if you understand the right tools. The most basic line of defense is a true surge protector. Unlike a basic power strip, a surge protector contains components designed to absorb excess voltage before it reaches your devices. Inside these protectors are parts called MOVs, metal oxide varistors. Think of them like electrical shock absorbers. When voltage suddenly spikes, the MOV redirects the extra energy away from your devices and into the grounding system of your home. But here's where many people make another mistake. Not all surge protectors are equal. In the United States, surge protectors are rated using something called joules. The joule rating tells you how much energy the device can absorb before it fails. Cheap surge protectors might only offer a few hundred joules of protection. That might stop very small spikes, but not a serious surge. Higher quality protectors can handle thousands of joules. And if you're protecting a gaming PC, workstation, or expensive electronics, that number matters. But even the best surge protector has limits. Every surge protector eventually wears out. Every time it absorbs a spike, its protective components degrade slightly. Over time, it loses its ability to protect. And here's the scary part. Most people never replace them. They assume that power strip from 10 years ago is still protecting their equipment, but in reality, it may have lost its protection years ago. And this changes everything. Because surge protection isn't just about buying one device, it's about building layers of protection. The next level of defense is something called a UPS, an uninterruptible power supply. If you've ever seen one, it looks like a small black box sitting under a desk. But inside that box is a battery system designed to do two critical things. First, it provides surge protection similar to a high-end surge protector. But second, and this is even more important, it provides backup power during outages. Imagine you're working on an important document, or rendering a video, or updating software. Then suddenly the power cuts out. Without protection, your computer shuts off instantly. That sudden shutdown can corrupt files, damage drives, or even harm the operating system. A UPS prevents that. When the power goes out, it instantly switches to battery power, giving you several minutes to safely save your work and shut down your system. For people working remotely in the US, that small box can prevent massive headaches. But here's another hidden risk. Your computer isn't only vulnerable through the wall outlet. Power surges can also travel through internet cables, Ethernet lines, and even coax cables used for cable internet. That means a surge from outside the home can sneak into your system through networking equipment. Many advanced surge protectors and UPS systems include protection for these lines as well, but there's an even bigger layer of protection most homeowners don't know about. Whole home surge protection. This is where protection is installed directly at your electrical panel. An electrician installs a device that intercepts major surges before they spread throughout the entire house. Think of it like a firewall for your home's electricity. When a large spike enters your home, maybe from a lightning strike nearby or a grid issue, the device absorbs or diverts the surge before it reaches your outlets. This level of protection is becoming increasingly popular across the United States, especially in storm-prone regions like Florida, Texas, and the Midwest. But let's talk about the other side of this story. Because while surge protection sounds like an obvious solution, there are still debates about how much protection people actually need. On the positive side, surge protection can dramatically extend the life of your electronics. Computers, TVs, networking gear, and smart devices all benefit from stable, clean power. For gamers and professionals with expensive setups, even a small investment in protection can prevent thousands of dollars in losses. UPS systems also provide peace of mind during outages, which are becoming more frequent in some parts of the country. But critics sometimes argue that many consumers buy cheap surge protectors that provide little real protection. Others point out that surge protectors can't stop every possible electrical event, especially direct lightning strikes. And that's true. No consumer device can completely guarantee protection from the most extreme events. However, the vast majority of damaging surges can absolutely be mitigated with proper equipment. So the real question isn't whether surge protection works, it's whether people are using the right protection. Looking ahead, the importance of protecting electronics is only going to grow. By 2030, the number of connected devices inside American homes is expected to increase dramatically. Smart appliances, electric vehicle chargers, home servers, advanced gaming systems, and AI-powered devices will all rely on stable electricity. Meanwhile, the electrical grid in many regions is undergoing major changes as renewable energy sources and battery systems become more common. Those transitions can introduce new types of voltage fluctuations. Experts expect surge protection to become a standard part of modern homes, just like smoke detectors and circuit breakers. Some newer homes in the United States are already being built with integrated surge protection systems. But for millions of existing homes, protection still depends on individual choices. And that brings us to something practical. What can you actually do right now to protect your computer? If you're a student or someone with a basic laptop setup, the simplest step is buying a high-quality surge protector from a reputable brand and replacing it every few years. For professionals working from home, a UPS system is one of the smartest investments you can make. It protects your hardware and prevents data loss during outages. For business owners or people with expensive setups, gaming rigs, servers, editing workstations, layered protection is the best approach. That means combining a UPS with quality surge protectors and possibly even installing a whole home surge protection system. And for everyday consumers, the biggest advice is surprisingly simple. Don't assume that a basic power strip equals protection. Check what you're actually using. Because protecting your computer isn't about fear. It's about understanding the invisible risks that come with modern technology. And once you know how electricity behaves, protecting your devices becomes incredibly straightforward. At the end of the day, your computer holds something incredibly valuable. Your work, your memories, your creative projects, sometimes even your livelihood. And losing all of that because of a split-second power surge would be devastating. So here's a thought to leave you with. In a world where we spend thousands of dollars on technology, why do so many people risk it all on a $10 power strip? If you enjoyed this deep dive into protecting your tech, make sure to subscribe to TechVibes for more videos breaking down the hidden risks and the smartest solutions in modern technology. And I want to hear from you. Have you ever lost a computer or electronics because of a power surge? Tell us your story in the comments, because the best way to protect the future of our technology is learning from what's already happened.